Hello everyone, it is Saturday, April 3rd. The time right now is 3:02 p.m. and the temperature is 8 degrees Celsius. I'm currently walking south on the west side of Victoria Park Avenue. And that was the Bingham Loop where I started recording this video. And this is my second attempt at filming this. As the first one, I was on the number 12 bus and I got off at that stop, taking it from Victoria Park Station, and there was some extremely unpleasant language on the bus, so I thought,
My parents.
rather than include that on my video, I should just stop recording and start again. And there's a look to the east along Kingston Road. And the plan for this one is to head west all the way along Kingston to where it terminates at Queen Street East. It will eventually turn south at some point up ahead. And there's a newly closed sidewalk patio. So the Bingham Loop is just located to the north, and that's where the 503 Kingston streetcar terminates. And that'll head down here to Kingston Road and eventually find its way into the financial district. There is tropical Thai cuisine. This is the first day of a new round of lockdown restrictions. Although the big difference this time around is that outdoor service at restaurants and bars and cafes, and I think even personal trainers aren't allowed to conduct lessons in parks anymore. So basically, all the stuff that was relatively safe has been taken off the table. There will still be indoor church service tomorrow for some reason. And a lot of these restaurants had invested quite heavily in their sidewalk patios that were allowed to open for the first time in a very long time a couple of weeks ago, only to have that rug pulled out from beneath them. And this here is Scarborough Road. So just to the south of here is the Beaches neighborhood. Kingston Road is sort of the northern boundary for that. A lot of people refer to the area to the north of Kingston Road as the Upper Beaches. There's a nice big newly closed patio. And in the other direction, Kingston Road stretches all the way through Pickering. And I think in Oshawa, it turns into Dundas Street West. Not to be confused with the Dundas Street that runs through Toronto. And I think officially, according to the City of Toronto, this neighborhood is known as East End Danforth, although I have never actually heard anyone call it that. That's sometimes the case with the official Toronto neighborhood designations. Right there it says Kingston Road Village, which I would assume is the business improvement area name for this region, and you can see at the south end of the street here is Lake Ontario. I'm zoomed in all the way I can with this camera. But Kingston Road pretty much follows the shoreline, just well to the north of it. So it's kind of unique in that it's a major street that doesn't go exactly east to west. And this is my first time recording a regular walking video along Kingston Road. I've come through this stretch on a bike ride or two in the past. I know I did last year when I did a bike ride that started at Scarborough Town Centre. And I went all the way downtown from there. And I've live streamed through a very small portion of Kingston Road before. And when I came down Main Street in a video, that finished up at Kingston Road, but I've never really explored it. And to be completely transparent, I'm not super familiar with this neighborhood, so they're kind of exploring it with me for the first time, really. Beach Sound Records. Well, it's not my first time, but it might as well be. I did used to play in a softball league that would play at Blantyre Park, which is just to the east of where I started this video. Although usually I would come down to that park from Victoria Station, or Victoria Park Station. Fearless meat, tender as a butcher's heart. This area certainly has a very unique vibe to it. There's a new development that's gone in recently. I'll be curious to see what retail outlets end up in there. And I think not too far from here, just up ahead on the left, is the Glen Stewart Ravine. I did a walk through there a few months ago and posted that on the channel. I think this area here on the left dips down into the ravine. And there's another rather interesting part of Kingston Road, more to the east of here in Scarborough, around the bluffs, so I'll find my way over there this spring or fall and do another video. There's Glen Stewart Acres. So it's kind of a mishmash of low and mid high rises, these small, almost cottage-style homes, and retail. And straight ahead there, that tower way off in the distance, is at Yonge Street and Gerrard. That is Aura. And that will soon be home to an urban IKEA location. The Bed Bath & Beyond there, which was never busy. I never really understood how that store stayed afloat, has finally closed down, and IKEA announced that they're moving in. And there's There's the Glen Stewart Ravine. Maybe if there's a break in traffic, I can get over there and take a look. And the last time I came through here, I went south all the way to Lake Ontario. Perhaps I'll come back in the spring once the colors have arrived. And I think that is St. John's Catholic Church and St. John Catholic School right next to it. I don't know why the church is St. John's. Maybe that's his personal church, and the school is just St. John. And on my way over here, I usually do a lookup of any historically significant buildings, and I didn't find any on this particular stretch of Kingston. It'll be about 3 kilometers in total, although there are a number of buildings listed as heritage properties on Old Kingston Road, which is to the northeast of where I started. There's a look down Glen Manor Drive. There's a lot of really nice homes on this street. And I think this area was originally the village of Norway. And then in 1908, it was annexed into the city of Toronto. (1908) or 1909, I'm trying to remember that. I just pulled that up on the wiki page again on my way over. And I don't think there's any connection to the country of Norway, although there seems to be some businesses and public areas with Norway in the name. Here is Winthorpe Road coming up. And when I get to the end of this walk, I'm thinking of doing a live stream. And that would be the first time I've done one since the quote-unquote incident. So I'm a bit eager and looking forward to doing that. And I think I'll just follow from where Kingston Road ends and continue on along Eastern Avenue. And that'll eventually turn into Front Street, and I can just take that over maybe to Union Station or somewhere downtown. I don't really know. (700) Kingston Road, rental suites available at greenwin.ca. I'm not really seeing any streetcars coming by. I don't think the frequency is particularly good on this route. Let me look that up and see. According to Rocket Man, it says the 503 is not available. Maybe they're not even running it, and there's buses in its place. There's the Grover Pub and Grub. And here is Main Street on the right and Southwood Drive on the left. I quite like this stretch of Main Street in between Kingston Road and Danforth. Certainly it's a neat little walk. I did a video on that not too long ago. There's a lineup to get into the Big Carrot. Real food, real wellness, and real community. And there's a look north, up Main. And of course a Timmy's. And look at that, they have a hockey stick for a door handle. That's kind of cool. Timmy's lately has sort of been out of touch with the chain we all grew up with. They used to be quite heavily involved in the community and sponsoring local sports teams and that sort of thing. I think the new owners have kind of been cheaping out as much as possible.
You want to do 14 now kind of thing? Because we're still waiting on the...
And once I get to Woodbine, I think I'll be in what the city calls the Woodbine corridor neighborhood. And then at Greenwood, it will be the Greenwood-Coxwell neighborhood. Or maybe it's possible that they just don't run the 503 streetcar on weekends. I really should have looked that up before I went on this walk. Normally I do a little bit more digging than this, but part of me kind of wants to just come out and explore and make observations relatively in the dark. And look at this house. That could be in a movie. They could definitely make that some kind of old creepy house. And you can see the financial district in most of its glory straight ahead there. Again, I'm waiting on this company to send me a new camera that's supposedly able to do 8x zoom on 4K. This Pocket 2 can only do a 4x zoom. I'm gonna let that guy squeeze through. So Toronto does slope down towards the lake, and this area is obviously no exception. I did a bike ride not too long ago that went along Queen Street East, and then when I turned up Victoria Park Avenue, I had a heck of a climb on my hands. The View Beach Residences. Rezoning approved. So, most likely whoever lived in this building was either rent-evicted or just plain evicted. Here's the Beach Arms Retirement Residence. Right across the street from Atrium at Q Beach Retirement. I wonder if they have some kind of friendly rivalry going on between the two. I wonder if the places on the south side of Kingston consider them to be in the beaches. In a room full of art, I'd still stare at you. That's cool. There's a Peanuts cartoon. Let's go to the north side of the street here. Although as I do that, the view of the skyline disappears. Exotic French Creole cuisine. This is Brookside Drive. There's an old school variety store. This wouldn't be a particularly fun neighborhood to take the single speed out for a ride. Kind of feels like I'm going downhill the whole way. And I think this is where Kingston starts to bend a bit more to the south. Sold over asking. And it's at 420 Kingston Road. So I think there's a park with a baseball field coming up on the right. And I think that's Norway Public School. We'll take a look. All these cars seem to be going around 40. I wonder what the speed limit is here. Because there's a school, it's probably 40. Usually that's the posted speed limit in a school zone like this. And there's a look at what I think is Norway Public School. Norway Junior Public School. Well, if you have a old Singer sewing machine that needs to be repaired, I guess that would be the spot for you. My mom had a really old one, and I think it was beyond repair. Hayworth Crescent. Really? You're pulling out to make a left-hand turn? Like that? All right. BillyBitcoins.com.
I could stay and not pay the rent.
The only way that place could exist is if they're charging a pretty big spread on selling cryptocurrency. You got to be careful if you're getting into crypto from an exchange, or even worse, probably a retailer with lots of overhead. You could easily lose 2, 3, 4, or 5% if they charge any type of service fee. And then they don't give you a rate that's as good as the market rate. And here is Woodbine Avenue. So I think this on the right is St. John's Norway Cemetery. In fact, that's what it says on the sign up there. I swear, I just didn't read it off of the building itself. So Woodbine Avenue here will take you down to the western end of the beaches themselves. The neighborhood's called the Beaches, as there's 4 beaches that run along the stretch of Lake Ontario. At least officially, according to the City of Toronto, it's the Beaches. The local BIA calls it the beach. We have lots available. That's an unusually colored squirrel. I don't know if I picked him up. He was rather light brown in color. It looks like the dates on a lot of these tombstones are going back to the 40s and 50s in terms of, I guess, the burial dates. So I should be getting pretty close to the end here. And I think I can conclusively conclude that they're not running streetcars along Kingston, at least not today. There's a 22A Coxwell to Victoria Park bus. And the cemetery continues on beyond or behind all these properties here. Norway Manor. So if it's not from the country, I wonder where the word Norway comes from. Perhaps it's just a last name of someone? It's definitely a bit cooler now than when I started. It said it was 8 degrees. Oh, there's an old barn. That's probably part of the maintenance facilities for the cemetery. Let's see what the phone rings in the temperature as. Nope, it's saying it's still 8. Maybe it's just windier. This place is promising great rates for large one-bedroom apartments. Oh, these are long or deep apartment buildings. There's a quality observation for you. And there's a streetcar running along Queen Street East, which will be the destination for this video. So I suppose this is the Greenwood Coxwell neighborhood. And I'm pretty much heading straight south now as we're coming across Dundas Street East. There are dedicated bike lanes on Dundas. Let me stay to the left of these people. Normally I like to stay to the right, but in this climate, that's not the best way to always approach things. It's best just to stay clear of other people, regardless as to what side they're on. East Leaf Produce. There's a distinct garbagey smell right now. At least I know my olfactory senses are working. There's some wastewater or waste treatment plants not too far to the south of here. I've heard people in this area complain about that from time to time online. So I wonder if that's what I'm smelling. It's kind of a strong wind I'm walking into. There's one of the hearts. There's a lot of those in the windows of various retailers in the beaches. And there's a streetcar loop. I'd go in and check it out, but it says, do not enter on it. And this is where the beaches neighborhood begins. It's a big park here at Woodbine. And you can take that south all the way to the beaches themselves. And here is Murphy's Law. This is a popular watering hole in the area, and they've got a big rooftop patio, but as I mentioned, they cannot open that, nor their back patio. I don't know what kind of takeout business they have going on, but hopefully it's strong enough to survive these pretty harsh restrictions in place. So here is Queen Street East, just to the west of here in that direction would be the start of the Leslieville neighborhood. And there's a player piano that's part of the luminosity display. Maybe I'll go take a closer look at that. And from there, I'll finish recording this video. And I hope you enjoyed watching this walk along Kingston Road, starting at Victoria Park Avenue and heading to the southwest all the way down to Queen Street East here. There's a look towards the financial district. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below. If you wish to support the channel, there will be a link to my Patreon in the description, and you can also consider channel membership on the YouTube page itself. And I have a PayPal link, although I don't normally mention that. And there we go, one of the 8 luminosity displays. I did a live stream through the beaches, and I checked out all 8 of the luminosity displays. Here's a hand sanitizer liquid, but it seems to be empty, so I'm going to refrain from showing you my Beethoven chops. But there we go, guys. This is where Eastern Avenue begins, and this is where I will start my live stream from, hopefully. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you on the next one.